Rita.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Awaken to Happiness Now global series. Thank you so much for being here with us today. If you're new to me, new to my show, new to my channel on YouTube, please do subscribe so you can take advantage of all the current shows, all the previous shows, all the shows coming up. If you're here live with us, welcome, welcome. It is my deepest wish, desire, and intention to bring to you these amazing speakers, teachers, wisdom holders, wisdom keepers to share their wisdom, teachings, experiences, processes, healings, etc., so that we can all thrive, so that we can all awaken to happiness now. So that was a different way of my opening, which is interesting. So, so Norah, I think you're a wisdom keeper, is what the message was coming through. So today we have, yeah, we have a new guest with us. Norah Ramsay is here, and we're going to be talking about the divine feminine, healing for the womb, Yoni. And so we're going to be talking about the divine feminine path of creation from conception through pregnancy and onto childbirth. We're also going to be receiving a healing for the womb / Yoni for any trauma experience. And I know a lot of us have. And so some of what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about Norah's spiritual journey and mission, why this offering of healing for the womb Yoni is happening today, and what brought that about. We're going to talk about the mixed emotions associated with this sacred event, acknowledging that every birth is not necessarily a viable one or one of ease and grace. So childbirth, etc., motherhood, etc., right? And so we are going to be, Nora is going to be facilitating a guided healing meditation. And so we're going to be calling in the Ascended Masters, the angelic realms of being of light, especially, I'm going to decline, I don't know who that is, etc. So we're excited about that. So definitely stay tuned for the guided healing meditation. And because this is Nora's first time on the show, you may know her, you may not know her, but I'll just tell you a little bit. She is a healing channel. She's guided by universal life force energy and the higher realms, the ascended masters, angels, and luminous beings of light. And her sole mission is to help others rise above life's challenges, awaken the healing light within, and step into the beautiful reality their hearts truly long for. So we're going to talk about all that and so much more with Norah. So everyone, please join me in welcoming Norah to the show. Norah, welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm delighted and very honoured to be here, and feeling a bit nervous as it's my first telesummit, but I'm seeing lots of familiar faces and I'm really grateful for the support. So thank you.
Not to worry, you'll be fine. We're just having a conversation, right? So it's all good.
Perfect. Perfect.
So Norah, because it's your first time on our show, right? Some people may not know you. So if you can just tell us a little bit about yourself, share your story, how you became a healer, a wisdom keeper. So that's one of your new titles, is wisdom keeper.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can just share a little bit about yourself and your journey for all of us so that we can get to know you better.
Okay, that sounds great. So I like the wisdom keeper bit. That's a new one for me. So yeah. So yeah, about me. So I am a healing channel. So I just open the space, if you like, for others to allow them to heal whatever they're prepared to release at that time. I absolutely love working with the higher realms. I really do. It's always been within me, but I can't say that my gifts were active when I was growing up. It was very much, as Lansing said the other night to someone, you need to follow the breadcrumbs. Well, that was what I needed to do. And I needed to develop my skills. So they weren't automatic. So my life was very, very much about learning about healing. And what prompted my awakening, I suppose, was actually the death of my son at 2.5 years old. Now, he was actually brain damaged at birth. So hence, this is the start of the story. Why the Yoni? Why the womb? Why what we're doing tonight? So as I say, I was overdue, and he was actually asphyxiated at birth and was very, very seriously brain damaged. And we were told to take him home when he was 6 months old to die, basically, because they needed the beds in the intensive care unit. And which we did, my husband and I. And he then, with the help of nurses at night, so we could get some sleep, he lasted until he was 2.5 years old. And after he died, it was so weird and wonderful as well. But 3 weeks exactly to the time and day that he died, I was crying my heart out, and my husband was comforting me. And all of a sudden, the toys in his bedroom started playing, the musical toys. And it was because he was so badly brain damaged, we actually used a lot of musical toys to work with him. And of course, for the next, I don't know how many weeks, whenever either of us were actually, oh, I'm getting a bit grief-stricken now, whenever either of us were in tears or upset, then the toys would start playing again in his room. So he was round us for so many weeks. And that really gave me such a huge comfort. But it also awakened me to the fact that the words that we hear, everlasting life, I was brought up very much in a Catholic religious background. And you read about, everlasting life, and it doesn't really mean anything. Or it didn't to me. It may to you guys, but it didn't to me. But that then changed my perception of everlasting life. I knew that it was there. And I'm pleased to say that he has come back and visited me since then as well. So that was a long time ago. That was 1991 that he died. So that was my first sort of a real awakening to the fact that there is a lot more to life than we perceive on this planet, or at least I perceived at that time. And it was quite, so sorry, it was quite a few years later that a friend of mine wanted to go and see a healer he'd heard about because he had a bad back. And my ears pricked up and I said, oh, do you think he'd mind if I came too? Because I just had this instinct to know, would he mind if I had a look to see what he was doing? So fortunately, he allowed me in the room and to observe. And he said to me during the process, the treatment, he said, why don't you come and have a feel? And I said, well, I won't be able to do that. He said, yeah, come on. So he encouraged me to come up. And as soon as I put my hand in the energetic field, so I was probably about 18 inches off the body, something, I could feel this wind. And I could feel changes in the energy. And I thought, oh my goodness. So I was completely overawed with it all and excited. And this wonderful healer who lives locally to me said to me, you could be a healer. And so I started going to him for my healing, the healing of my traumas. And the more I went, the more I got interested, and I kept asking questions. And in the end, he guided me as to his route. And I said, yeah, I'd like to follow that route. So he sponsored me to become a healer because you had to, in those days, have a sponsor. He sponsored me to become a healer with what's now called the Healing Trust, because they've actually changed their name. And so I qualified with the Healing Trust. And as soon as I qualified, it's amazing how our guides put things in our way, opportunities the whole time. And it's up to us whether we act on those. But I read an article in the Healing Trust magazine about a therapist that had actually gone out to do complementary therapies in Bosnia and Herzegovina, which is part of the former Yugoslavia in Europe. And it was after the Balkan War. And this wonderful charity called Healing Hands Network were sending it. It's only a very small UK charity. They were sending out therapists to go and work with the survivors of the people that have been in the concentration camps there. So I went out for about 5 years doing stints of 2 weeks at a time. And I worked with these wonderful people. It was a very, very humbling experience, very emotional, quite taxing. But that particular charity is still running today, and they send out 4 therapists a week, whether it's reflexology, whether it's massage, whether it's healing, whether it's bone, whatever it is, for, as I say, these survivors. So they go in the aftermath of the war and then try and help in whatever way they can. And I know that at the moment they're providing humanitarian aid when they can to Ukraine with the intention of, again, doing the same once the war's over, going in and helping the survivors. But it was through my work with Healing Hands that I actually came across so many women. When you read their stories, it's quite heartbreaking, really. I encountered so many people that had been beaten, tortured, raped, abused, had their loved ones killed in front of them. I've actually got a few of the examples. I've still got them here, you know, all these wonderful people. And their stories are heartbreaking. I'm just going to read one or two. This lady lost everything when she had to flee from Fogha, where she lived. I was in a concentration camp for 6 months, continuously raped and beaten. Everything I live with my remaining family in refugee accommodation still. Everything I wear is given to me. We rely on charity. This other lady, she was in a concentration camp. She was repeatedly and brutally raped for months. She has nice scars all over her body, and I won't read out the next bit because it's quite distressing. But all of these wonderful ladies, this other one was held at gunpoint in our first floor apartment by people we knew. My husband, brother, and father were shot in front of me, and the gun turned to me. In terror, I jumped from the window. I broke my back and was paraplegic for over a year. I struggled to walk again and not give in. I now struggle to rebuild my mind and my emotions, which is taking many years. And she came to Healing Hands Network because of the memories, the nightmares, the flashbacks, the PTSD. And she was just so grateful for the therapist, and she said, please keep coming at the end. So really very heartfelt experiences these women had. And so it's not only the rape, it's, if you think of the miscarriages because of the trauma as a result of any pregnancies from that, and or abortions, and or those brave ladies who actually went through childbirth, knowing that the child that they brought into the world was actually not from a sacred conception, but from a very brutal act. So I felt very moved by all of that. So as well as my experiences, the experiences with the charity and other people that I have worked with, other clients, when you hear their stories, I just felt very drawn to this subject. And also my guides, I realize now when I look back, were guiding me to this session to do this. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that at the end, because it's quite amazing. They drip feed you, or they give you these breadcrumbs, and then you come to where you need to be. So, so that was my charity work. And from there, what did I do after that?
I just want to say really quickly, Norah, that just you working with and getting to know these women and hearing about their stories and hearing about their traumas and being able to assist them in some way, in any way, must have been difficult emotionally, mentally for yourself, but also quite fulfilling as well, knowing that you're making a difference in someone's life who's had such horrible traumatic experiences. Uh, like we all have different experiences and there's a different
Yeah,
levels of trauma, right? For sure. But and we can't compare anybody's trauma. We're not saying that, but just knowing that you are helping these women to come back from that trauma, right? To overcome the trauma in some way, to still be here and function in life and continue moving forward on their path, on their journey, whatever it happens to be. It can also be quite emotional for you as well, no?
yeah, yeah, totally. Um, you do about 60, between 60 and 70 treatments a week, so it's fairly full on. It's one after another, so it is exhausting. And at the weekend, in between the 2 weeks, you have that time off. But I tell you what, you are recovering in order to get the energy to move forward again. But the other therapists, everyone is so supportive of each other. So yeah, and what was so lovely, these people have nothing, and yet they would bring us in from their garden plums or apples or whatever was in season, just a small offering, because all the treatments were given free, but they wanted to give something back. Or they
Yeah,
would buy us a bar of chocolate or something. But, you know, really, really, oh, wonderful stuff. So very, very fulfilling, Shefali, as you said, very, very fulfilling. Yeah.
and great work, right? Anytime we can be a conduit or a vessel for healing anybody in some way, even a little bit, it makes a
Yeah.
difference for everyone, the person involved, the planet, the collective, the ancestors. I mean, the healing ripples out quite a bit, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's amazing what you've been doing. So that's wonderful.
So yeah, so I'm really pleased actually I did it. It opened me up in so many different ways, made me so grateful for what I have in life as well, and for my health and the country that I live in, and the fact that I'm not in these war-torn areas. So yeah,
Absolutely. It really brings you back to your priorities and present in the moment and looking at what you have, like what you experience, what you have, and how much there is to be grateful for. How many blessings that there are in the world, even for those dear women who are, suffering and have trauma, they are still being blessed by your healing hands, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So it's something we all need to look at from time to time, is like remembering how blessed we are and that there's so much for us to be grateful for. My daughter had said the same thing. She had gone to a refugee camp in, I don't know exactly where now, but she was there for a week, and when she came back, she said, "Mom, we have nothing to complain about. We have absolutely nothing to complain about.
yeah,
We are so blessed. We are, so it's like now she sees life in a different way as well, right? So it's amazing how it can change your perspective on life, right? The traumas that you experience yourself, but also the traumas that you see other people having gone through, and surviving even, right? Um, it really gives you a different idea about what life is and how many blessings there are for us to see, instead of constantly focusing on the negative or the lack or the scarcity, or I don't have this, I don't have that, blah blah blah. Look at what you have and look at your experiences. They're and just be grateful for that, because there's so many people who have so much less, and it's horrific. I mean, we don't even want to go there, but if we
No,
can, if we can do anything to assist and to help, if nothing else, send out blessings of light and love. Not healing, because again, that is a, some people don't want the healing, and some people need to learn through their traumas and stuff, but blessings and unconditional love, everyone can receive. And then, their soul will use it in whatever way is best for them, right?
absolutely. And so that's why I'd like to, when we do the meditation later, to actually do exactly that. So we're not just focusing on our own experiences, we are sending out blessings and light and love to everyone else on the planet who has gone through such pain and suffering.
Yes,
So,
absolutely. We'll definitely be doing that for sure. So,
yeah,
I just wanted to come back a little bit and talk about, we're talking about the womb, the yoni, the divine feminine, and healing. And um, as women, we have, experienced a lot, right? And and sometimes it takes a long time to heal. I mean, there's no time limits. There's no such
yes,
thing as it should only take this long for you to heal from this, that, or the other thing. It's up to each one of us. But sometimes those scars from those traumas, uh, I'm experiencing them. So like I had trauma years ago, many many years ago now, and but the scars are there, and so now it's like, as much as I thought I healed everything, there's still more healing to be done, right? And the thing is,
absolutely.
and that's okay, right? So we continue to heal, we continue to work with ourselves, we continue to bless our experiences, even if they may have been traumatic, because they have brought you to where you are now.
Absolutely, absolutely. And, it's absolutely right what you said there about we think we've healed something and then another layer comes up because, our body only allows us what to release what we can at any one time because we have to keep functioning. We
Yeah,
have families to feed, we have work to do, and so I find it's very, very much a layered effect. And that's why I have offered in the packages, which we'll go to later, a group call to actually go into a deeper dive. Because it's not just about the physical trauma, it's about all the emotional and mental trauma that goes with it. So there will be layers. Like, for example, if you've been brutally raped, then you may absolutely hate the perpetrator. So all of that is tied in with the healing of that particular physical scar. So, or there could be, if, for example, you have had a stillbirth or you've had a miscarriage, a lot of people I've found tend to blame themselves first of all. What did I do wrong? So there is a lot of self-blame attached to it as well. So it's not straightforward. It's not straightforward at all. And the interesting thing is, you mentioned, Shefali, about everyone having their own journey. It was, I knew, but I didn't want to accept it, that I was going to have a disabled son. Um, and it was a deep, I kept saying to myself when I was pregnant, I kept saying, no, don't be silly. You're just every mother will be worrying about whether she's going to have something going wrong. And I kept dismissing it. But it was only after the event and years later that I came to realize I was being given that information. So that was my soul's journey to have that disabled son. And my son's journey was just to be in our life for just such a short space of time. And
but
some
that's
people,
that's that's wisdom, right? That's the wisdom that you were receiving at the time, but you didn't get it until after, because your emotions were too tied into, being a
yes,
mother, having a child, all that wonderful stuff, right? So
yes,
sometimes we
totally.
sometimes we do receive messages, but we don't want to look at them. We don't want to think about
I
it. And it's like, you know,
exactly.
if you think bad thoughts, you're gonna, make it come forward, kind of thing, right? Tempting fate. So we don't think about stuff, right? But
Yeah.
but sometimes it's not about that. It's about realizing, where is this thought coming from. So if this thought is coming from just out of the blue, right, then it may be a message from your guides. But did you even know about guides at that point?
No, I didn't.
No.
No, not at all. That's why
Yeah.
I kept rationally thinking, saying, no, don't be silly. Every mother, worries about this, that, and the other. And so no, I didn't know about my guys. So it was only years later in hindsight that I thought, yeah, they were telling me. They
Yeah.
were
That.
giving me that knowledge, that wisdom
Yeah.
was coming through of the
Yeah.
situation. So yeah.
And
But
it's so
even
interesting.
so, regardless, it doesn't make it any easier.
No, of course not. No.
But yeah, to go
No, it
through
does not.
those experiences. So yeah, yeah,
And then some experiences our soul chooses, right? To have,
yes,
as part of
yes,
our journey, as part of our expansion, as part of our growth.
that's right, totally. Would I be here today doing a healing on the yoni and womb healing if I hadn't experienced what I did? And if I didn't then go down that healing route and go and do all the work with Healing Hands Network in Bosnia, you can see the trail, how it goes, the breadcrumbs, as we call them. You can see how you're led from one area to another.
Mhm.
But
Absolutely.
yeah,
And everything is perfect anyways.
that's right. Absolutely. Even though it's difficult to see it sometimes, but yes, it is totally.
Everything is happening the way it's meant to happen for your, in my opinion, for your soul's expansion, for your soul's growth, for your soul, for your awakening.
Yes.
That's, for me, that's the only reason anything is happening, for
Yeah.
you to come back to you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, God, it's like, I can't do anymore. It's just like, I just can't take it anymore. It's just enough for now. Let's take a break, you know?
I know, I
Because
know. But when I think back to those ladies who were in the concentration camp and what they saw and what they experienced, some of those said they wanted to die. They didn't want to be
for
here,
sure. Yeah.
which one can fully understand. So for
Yeah.
them, the healing is a lot deeper. They felt forsaken by God.
Mm-hmm.
They're angry at God, some of them, feeling that God did that to them. So it's very complex. It really is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And so with the healing, again, like we were talking about, it happens in layers. Things come up in layers. So,
Yeah.
we might have healed one aspect of an emotional issue or a physical issue, but then years later, another aspect comes up when we are able to look at it, to heal it,
Yeah.
right? Because a lot of
Yeah.
times we can't even see it because
Yeah.
we're just not ready sometimes, right? Emotionally ready, mentally ready, whatever happens to be, to see a different side or a different aspect of it.
Yeah. And I must admit, after my son's death, I just threw myself into my work. That was my way of blocking it out because I just felt so numb. So before I, went to Sarajevo and everything, it's quite common for people to do what I did. Just block it out, throw yourself into something. And that was work for me. So, yeah.
It's
So,
it's it's how we cope, right? We all cope in different ways. So uh,
yes, totally.
when my husband first had his stroke, I coped by going fully into my work. So I was like working extra hard, extra long, extra hours. Just, yeah, I needed something, right?
Yeah,
And then something else happened, and then there's like, then my body's like, enough, stop pushing. You need to take a break. You need to relax. You need to feel, right? Because sometimes we don't even want to feel things.
exactly. Exactly. That was the same as me. I didn't want to feel. It was just too painful, too
Yeah.
painful. So after my son, in fact, after my son's birth with the because he was so badly brain damaged, he actually couldn't even swallow. He had bulbar palsy as well as cerebral palsy. And just the whole thing, I just went numb. And so, but that was my body's way of coping. That was my way of coping. And we all cope in different ways. And then, as I say, later after he died, throwing myself into my work purely because it was a coping mechanism.
Absolutely. And there's no judgment and however you cope or have coped with certain
No,
situations. There's no judgment. It's what you were able to do at that time. But as we
absolutely.
continue to grow, evolve, work on ourselves, do the healing, receive healing, um, then we're more emotionally capable, I think, to look back at things and really see or feel what we needed to feel, even though it might be like 25 years later. But
Yes,
then you're
that's right. Yeah, yeah,
sometimes it takes time. But healing, again, like you said, it's a process. It's not just a one and done, one time, half an hour thing. Sometimes it requires integration, it requires processing, and it requires compassion,
it
right, for your
does.
journey.
Yeah,
And being angry at God or whatever is totally understandable as well. It means
yeah,
they really feel so deeply, right? So
yes,
I can definitely relate to that as
yeah,
well.
yeah. So where did I go after that? Right. So after the work that I did in Bosnia, I was still working as an environmental specialist at that time, funnily enough. Um, I then I just had this thirst, this drive to do. So that's how I knew it was my mission to do more healing work, to learn more, to expand. And so I did, I became a practitioner of Archangel Michael's modality, which is the intergalactic star healing modality that Kelly Hampton
Mm-hmm.
downloaded. So I did that with Kelly, and I'm pleased to say she's a good friend, and I've run retreats with her since. And then I started doing more retreats of my own. I love sacred sites, absolutely love going to sacred sites, both here in the UK and, I've been Mount Shasta. I've been quite a few different places, and I don't know, it gives me a buzz. It lights me up. Uh, Clearly, my passion, and I didn't realise the link between my passion and the healing until fairly recently, when I went to Susan Kennard's in-person retreat, which was a few weeks ago now in Hastings in the UK. And we were doing work on our sacred mission. And so when I tuned in with my guides, because I thought, well, I know what my mission is, it's healing. And I thought that was it in a nice little nutshell. But actually, what my guides told me was that my mission is the divine union between the soul and Mother Earth. And then, of course, it was like a eureka moment. The penny dropped. I thought that's why I love running retreats or taking people to these sacred sites and introducing them to the earth energies there, the ley lines, communicating with the stones, whatever it is. And of course, then I thought, and this made me laugh as well. I take people to Chalice Wells in Glastonbury, and there is a Yoni tree. So why am I here tonight talking about the womb and the Yoni? There is a Yoni tree that I take people to, and it's a rebirthing tree. Now, whether that rebirthing is your own birth people, you know, use it differently, or whether it's because we're rebirthing into a new dimension with Mother Earth. But we spend time there. I also take people to Avebury Sacred Stone Circle, which is the largest, again in the UK, and it's the largest stone circle in the world. I thought it was just Europe, but it's actually the world. And stones there are 4,500 years old. It's a huge, huge stone circle. It's so big. Unfortunately, mankind, in order to disrupt the energies, has put roads through it. So it covers about 3 or 4 fields. But within this stone circle, there is a Yoni stone. So what happened several weeks ago? I went with a group of Susan Kennard's soul family, and we did a beautiful ceremony at the Yoni stone. And we were honoring Mother Earth and sending energies out through the ley lines. So I have to smile at the way the guides have been giving me these breadcrumbs all the way through about the womb, the healing need for the healing of the womb and the yoni, which has been threads throughout my whole life in one way or another. And now they've brought this divine union to it. So it's me taking souls and introducing them to the earth and honoring the earth. So that was a bit of an aha moment a few weeks ago. So,
I love it. That's beautiful. And I've seen a lot of the pictures of when you all were there. I'm like, oh, so lovely. So then the beautiful energies as well, right? So now
yes.
I'm assuming there's going to be many more retreats to these
I,
wonderful sacred sites.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. In fact, that was the other thing they said to me, retreats, retreats, retreats. So, oh, I love retreats. I'm always doing retreats. At the moment, I'm thinking, when am I going to fit another one in? But yeah, I love doing them. And it's what lights me up. And so it makes sense. If anyone is thinking, what is my mission? It's whatever you are doing that really makes you come alive and lights you up. That's it.
Mhm.
That is
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. And that's interesting, Nora, that you asked that question because so many people ask that question. What is my mission? What is my mission? What am I here to do? What is my purpose? All
Yeah,
those types of questions, right? But they're looking outwards instead of like looking at their life and looking at themselves and looking at what lights them up, what brings them passion, what brings them joy, right?
yes.
So it's going to be different for everyone, obviously, right? So I mean, my mission is not the same as yours,
No.
Nora, right? So I don't have that divine soul union with the earth kind of thing. That is not my mission, right? But when you figure out your mission, or when you get the awakening to what that is, it's such a magical moment. It's like, yes, of course, right? And that's how you felt. Yes, of course, this makes total sense.
Yes. It did. It was, as I say, a real eureka moment. I thought I would never have put the two together. I thought, yeah, healer, that's it. But actually, the sacred sites and the healing all
Yeah,
together combined. So that was perfect for me. Really good.
absolutely. I love that. And this is just my own personal opinion. You don't have to restrict yourself to just physical retreats. You can still do online retreats with the energies of Avebury,
Absolutely.
Stonehenge, whatever, right? So just,
Yeah. Yeah,
just an
absolutely.
insight for you.
Good,
Yeah,
good idea, Shefali. Thank you.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, but I'm
So
just
I
wondering if
just want to,
anybody,
oh,
yeah, go
go
ahead.
on, sorry. No, I was
No,
just
no,
going to
go.
say from there, I just went on to then the latest modality I've been looking at and studying is Rahani. And so
Mhm.
on Sunday, I'm due to, so I am a Rahani practitioner and I love the energy of the Rahani angels and the pink ray of unconditional love. I love it. And on Sunday, I am doing my level 2 teaching. So that's where I am at the moment. So
That's
I
awesome,
keep
awesome.
following the breadcrumbs.
And that's what we should all do, is keep following the breadcrumbs, right? So what lights you up, what sparks your interest, keep following that, and you'll continue to be guided, because we're always guided by our team, our higher self, our guides, etc. If we're willing to listen, and if we're willing to um, act on those messages that come in, right?
Yeah.
So like just a few weeks ago, I was just lying in bed and I had this thing drop in. It was diamond DNA activation. I'm like, okay. And it just dropped in. So it's like, okay. So when I did my DNA activation yesterday, I included some of that as well. And last week I did a short process with my VIP circle, just to get a taste of diamond DNA activation, right? So it's about listening to those insights that come in, that drop in, and taking action on them, and then the next information comes through, the next breadcrumb comes through, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. And the other interesting thing is I've got this wonderful, wonderful set of cards called Mother Mary's Oracle Guidebook by Alana Fairchild. And so before we started, so I've already created a sacred space for us all to work in. I actually drew a card, and we've got this beautiful card. And again, look at the title, Our Lady of Soul Birth. How appropriate is that? And what it
Yep.
says, I'll just read the top little bit. So I had already called in the divine feminine, so Mother Mary, Kuan Yin, Mary Magdalene, and so I've been calling everyone in. They're all here waiting. And it says, you and I have never been separated, though you may fear it to be so, my beloved one. Yet as you grow, I grow. As you suffer, I suffer. As you celebrate, I celebrate. When you rage and grieve, so do I rage and grieve. Your journey upon this planet is held within my loving embrace, and is my journey too. I am with you always. We cannot be parted. I accept all parts of you and all parts of your journey. There is nothing to hide from me, for I am in your life with you. When you reject parts of yourself, you reject me. When you love yourself, you love me. Love me, dear one. Love yourself, and your radiant soul grows into life, into light upon the earth. And I just thought that was so beautiful and
Absolutely.
so appropriate, Our Lady of Soul Birth, as we're talking about birthing, the Mother Earth birthing us to a new dimension, and we're talking about the womb and the yoni and the birth. So yeah,
Absolutely. I love it. And we are all the time rebirthing ourselves, when we are willing to receive healing, because when we receive healing, we are a brand new person. We're not the same person that we were before we received the healing, right? So I feel like every time we are receiving a healing, we are birthing a new us, because we are the healed version now, right? So
yes, yeah,
that is.
very true, very, very true. Yes,
So there's so much magic and power in healing, and receiving the healing, right?
yeah.
So I know we're going to do a healing. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about first before we talk about the special offer page, and then we'll do the healing?
I think the only thing I'd like to say, in following the breadcrumbs that as I did, really just to mention some of the challenges that I had, as I hope that this will be useful to other people. One was very, very much about doubt, doubting myself, doubting my ability. I remember when I first started training to be a healer with the Healing Trust, I used to look at my hands and I'd say, is there anything coming out of there? You know? And I'd be saying to the person that I was working on, can you feel anything? So it was very much about me with my limiting beliefs and my doubt restricting what was coming through. So my advice there is you've really just got to open up to actually allow it all to flow through. So that's one word of advice. The other one is trust, which goes with doubt. So it's trusting that it's flowing through. It's trusting that your divine team are there when you call them in. It's trusting the process, it's trusting the breadcrumbs, and it's trusting that you are going in the right direction. And it's also trusting that every experience is one that you are meant to have in order to grow. I think those are the two biggies. I mean, obviously there were lots of others, but yeah. And there was another biggie for me: worthiness. I've always sort of regarded myself as a bit small and, you know, wanting to disappear into the background a bit. So for me, it's been a conscious effort to actually come out, wear bright clothing to be seen, and just come forward. And I know a lot of it came from my religious upbringing. Because I was brought up a Roman Catholic, there was a lot of indoctrination about not being worthy. In particular, I remember when we were having a dummy run, if you like, before we receive First Communion. And what you have to say in the Roman Catholic faith anyway is when you receive it, you have to say, I am not worthy to receive you. And it goes on. But that made such a profound impact on me that when we had this dummy run before we had the main First Communion, I couldn't even swallow the little bit of bread that they gave us. So that was another one for me about clearing the worthiness. And it didn't only come from that area, but that was a big part of it. So whatever it is for you, it's about, first of all, understanding it and acknowledging it, and then holding the intention to let it go. And there are so many tools available now out there. I tend to use the violet flame quite a bit to clear stuff, but there's lots of different ways to do it. So it does take the inner work. So as well as following the breadcrumbs, you have to do that inner work to actually clear all those insecurities that are holding you back from moving forward. So just a little bit of advice from my experiences anyway.
And of course, there is a lot of support here available for you if you need, support in healing. But yeah, worthiness is a big one, even though I've been working on this one for a long time as well. And it's like, it's still little things come up, right?
Yeah.
Still little things come up. And then it's like, I have to remind myself, it's like, oh, what is this? Why is this coming up? And questioning it and then clearing it, right? So you have to be willing to look at it so that you can truly clear it. Acknowledge it, not saying this is mine, but okay, I see it, and then clearing it for sure, the best you can. And always remembering, coming back to, you are loved, you are supported, always.
Yes.
And you are never separate from God, creator, source, right? So that the wound of separation is also a big one for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right.
Huge.
So
yeah, huge.
Yeah. And that's part of the worthiness as well. The wound of separation and the worthiness, I think, go together a little bit. Julie's asking, can you describe what that is? Are you talking about the violet flame? It's basically just for myself. I mean, I'll just tell you what I do. It's basically seeing a wall of violet fire. This is the easiest way to do this. See a wall of violet fire in front of you, step into it, put your arms out, and allow it to come in and clear, transmute any negative energies in your field, knowing you're fully supported. And then you can do that with like intentions for a certain topic or a subject, whatever. But just to clear your field, it's a great one to do. Or you can, if you don't want to do the wall of fire, I find the easiest. But you can just see the violet flame, violet color, violet energies coming through your field and spiraling around you. You can also try that. So the violet flame comes from Saint Germain. He brought it through, and so he's equated with that. But it works if you use it. If it
Yeah.
works if and when you use it, right? So play with it, Google it. There's videos, I'm sure, etc. But yes, definitely, it can help.
Yeah, there's a lot of information out there on if you Google it, the violet flame, they talk you through it. So, but it is about believing that it will work. So
Yeah,
it's not
and
about thinking,
keeping it simple, because
yeah,
you don't have to do a huge, big, long invocation. You
no,
say you don't have to. So keep it simple. But yeah, believing that it works. It's all about belief. Everything that we see around us, our external reality, is based on the beliefs that we're carrying within. So I know that's a tough one for people, but just putting it out there. So
yeah,
always question what you believe. If it's an empowering belief, awesome, keep it. If it's disempowering or limiting in any way, change it, reframe it. Kind of thing. Anyways, we're going off topic.
yeah, perfect.
All
So
right, so
yeah,
Norah,
so
I'm gonna go ahead.
I was going to say I'm ready to do the healing session if you'd like.
Okay, well, let's talk about the special offer packages first, and then we'll do the
Okay,
healing. Okay, so I'm just going to share
okay,
my screen. All right, so you should be able to see my screen now, right? And so Nora has 3 packages available, and the first one is a deeper dive group call, which is coming up on November 2nd. Nora, you want to go ahead and talk about it? It's $33, not 44. Sorry, there's a typo there.
okay,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
Right. So basically, as I mentioned, there are lots of layers to this. So we all have, well, as divine feminine, we have all agreed to walk this route, and we've all experienced, most of us anyway, pain and suffering associated in some way with pregnancy, conception, pregnancy, and childbirth. Or we know someone who has. It might be your mother or a grandmother, or so you could do this with them in mind if you haven't experienced that yourself. Or I am inviting people to join if they'd like to do it as a service call. So a piece of service work. So you are sending that healing out to the collective, to the Divine Feminine Collective, anyone who has experienced deep trauma, pain, suffering, to actually help them be able to release. And if it's their soul's desire, then they will be able to release that. Because all the time that dense energy is held in the collective, is very difficult for the vibration to be raised, for our frequency, Mother Earth's frequency, to be raised. So it's like, it's not a barrier, but it's sitting there in the collective consciousness. And all the time, for example, like energies of rape and pillage are in there, and many of us will have experienced that in other lifetimes. It's 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 like a soup, a thick soup, a fog that's still milling around. And so those energies will prevail on Mother Earth. So you can look at it from whichever perspective you would like, but it will be a deeper dive group call. Well, we will be going more specifically into a lot of the emotions associated with the experiences that have been had. So the grief, as well as the trauma, the loss, the self-blame, the hatred, the separation, the blaming God, that whatever it is, we'll be looking at all of that with a view to releasing those energies and clearing them from ourselves and from the collective. So that's what that one is about. And as Shefali said, that one's $33. So I've made it low because I feel it will be of such benefit to society, to consciousness. So I invite you to join me on that. My next offer is a private one-on-one healing session for anyone who, after they've done the group call or even separately, may wish to have further work done. And this particular private session is for anything. It doesn't have to be associated with the womb or the yoni. It doesn't have to be associated with that. It can be anything at a spiritual level, a physical, a mental, or an emotional, whatever you want to make it. We can address it with the guides, obviously, because that's where I always go for the help. So it's not just me, where I'm opening the channel and the guides are coming in, thankfully, to help us all at this time. So that's that package. And then the final package is the combined offer of A and B. And that's
Absolutely.
$133. So yes, so feel free, if it's calling to you, feel free to come and join us.
Wonderful. Thank you. And there's some wonderful testimonials and feedback from folks who have worked with Norah in the past. So please check those out. And then there's a fuller bio as well for Norah here. And again, package A is 33, package B is 111, package C is 133. There are payment plans available for packages B and C. And if you are an Inner Circle member, please use your gift code. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Norah.
You're welcome.
Awesome. All right. So now we are going to do a healing. Do we need to have an intention or anything? What do we need for this?
Well, our intention is healing for ourselves and for anyone else who has suffered. And it's the pain and suffering that is really my focus for this mini session. So anyone that has experienced pain or suffering or loss, actually, we're going to include loss in that, as a result of anything associated with conception, with pregnancy, with childbirth, that whole topic.
Awesome.
And we're also going to ask for healing for Mother Earth, because we are all embraced in Mother Earth's womb. We're actually being nurtured by Mother Earth. We rely on Mother Earth for our food, our nourishment, our nurturing energy, that motherly love that she provides us with. So I'd also like to include an offering to Mother Earth as well.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, great. Okay, so I'd like to just invite you to make yourself comfortable. I'm just going to take a drink of water. So as I said, I have already created a beautiful sacred space for us all. And I have invited in the Ascended Masters, the angelic realms, the beings of light, and in particular the divine feminine, those who serve on the pink ray of unconditional love. And we're asking you to come forward and to come closer and to be with us and guide us and help us to release those denser energies that we have spoken about that are not serving our highest good or the highest good of the ascension of Mother Earth. So I'm going to start with my hands on my heart as I always do. And we're going to do some breath work to center ourselves. I'm just checking that you can hear me okay now. Yeah, okay, that's great. Because I know my voice gets softer once I start meditating or bringing energy in. So just taking some nice deep breaths to center yourself. To bring yourself to that place of stillness within. And I'm giving gratitude to the guides for holding this sacred container for us to work within. And we're going to start by grounding. And I invite you to ground in whatever way you like. I like to imagine that I am barefoot on Mother Earth, on the grass, in my favorite place, my favorite location. And I'm feeling the wind in my hair and the sun on my face as I'm fully connecting with nature, with Mother Earth. And I'm growing deep roots just like a tree down into Mother Earth. I'm becoming one with Mother Earth. And I am also dropping a grounding cord, which is a little cord that's wound up at the base of your spine. Just imagine that it's being dropped down into the heart of Mother Earth, to the crystal grid that exists there. And again, with visualization, just wrapping that grounding cord around some beautiful crystals that represent unconditional love and unity consciousness. And my favorite crystal at the moment is the strawberry calcite. And now holding the intention to connect with these crystals, connect with those energies of unconditional love, connect with the energy of unconditional love and unity consciousness. And drawing up from Mother Earth, from the crystals, and from the Earth's core, all of the lovely, nurturing, loving energies, receiving that love from Mother Earth, And we are fully attached to Mother Earth, growing and flourishing within her womb. Can you feel her heartbeat? So drawing those energies all the way up to our heart, up through our feet, up through our grounding cord, and bringing them all the way up to our heart, where we give thanks for the energies, for the support that we are receiving, for the strength. And taking some nice deep breaths. And with each breath, we're holding the intention to raise our vibration, raise our frequency higher and higher. And here we're holding the intention to connect with our higher self, our I am presence. All that I am. And we're inviting our divine teams, which are made up of our councils of light, the angelic beings, the ascended masters, beings of light, star beings, ancestors. We're inviting them all to come forward and to help and support and guide us in this process. And now we're going to take some further deep breaths. And with each breath, we're raising our vibration higher and higher in order to connect with pure source energy. That beautiful white light, that sparkling, effervescent diamond-like light. The light of source, the light of God, the light of universal energy, whatever you wish to call it. But it's that beautiful white light. And it also contains the gold of Christ consciousness. And we're going to draw those energies down around us. We're creating a pillar of light. And that pillar will be from the heavens all the way down to the heart of Mother Earth. So we're completely encapsulated within it. So make it as wide as you like, as bright as you like. The brighter, the better. So drawing down those energies within our pillar and directing every part of us, every cell in our body, each of our bodies, our auric field, open up to receive. So your intention here is to receive that brilliant white golden light that's now cascading down and flowing through you and around you, cleansing and clearing all the denser energies, all the dust, And it's showering down these beautiful rays, just like diamonds, of sparkling rainbow light, which are a soft pearlescent colour, reflecting the energies of the new earth. So we're drawing those energies into our very being. And this light, this white light that contains all these energies, is a purifying light. And it's just showering down upon us now, washing away all that's not serving our highest good. Washing it all the way down to Mother Earth for recycling. And refertilizing the energies to allow us to flourish. And now we are asking our divine teams and all who have come forward to serve us in this process tonight. We're asking for the cleansing of all of the energies of rape and pillage, the destructive energies associated with Mother Earth, the destruction of Mother Earth, and the experiences that we may have had in other lifetimes. And this process is open to all who listen to the replay as well. Everyone is contained within this sacred space. And we're asking for the clearing of these energies with ease and with grace. And as we spoke about the violet flame earlier, I want you to just visualize the earth in front of you. And it being washed by a beautiful violet flame. So we're invoking the violet flame, asking Saint Germain and Archangel Zadkiel to bring forward the violet flame with the violet flame angels assisting, bringing in those energies to clear and transmute, clearing and transmuting all of the energies, the dense energies of rape, pillage, destruction from ourselves, all who listen on the replay, and for our fellow sisters throughout the world, and also for Mother Earth herself. So just imagine all of these beautiful angelic beings coming to assist, clearing the way, clearing this dense energy, as well as all of the other ascended masters, archangels, divine feminine, who are here to help us too. So we have lots of loving support here, helping to ease the pain and suffering from humanity associated with the conception, with the pregnancy, and with the birthing of a new life. Helping to ease the pain and suffering of the trauma experienced. Clearing that which our souls are allowing at any one time. Clearing the denser energies. Clearing the grief and the loss where this exists. Clearing the blame, the self-blame, the blame of others, the blame of God. Clearing that separation from source where we felt we were forsaken. And the higher energies are coming in now to assist with this clearing. So our intention is for this healing to be for humanity and for Mother Earth. And I'm seeing the unicorns coming in and the dragon energy. There are so many beings of light assisting us now. And with your hands on your heart, sending love and blessings and compassion to all of those that have suffered in this way. And we ask that they may find peace in their heart on their journey, and understanding and acceptance for what is. And sending love and blessings to Mother Earth, this beautiful earth that we thrive upon. Those beautiful, nurturing, loving energies that she sends us. The motherly love that bathes us when we stop to feel it, when we walk in nature, when we listen to the sounds of the leaves in the trees. when we listen to the insects going about their tasks, when we see the beautiful flowers, the beautiful vista before us, the water merrily dancing along in the rivers and the brooks, the birds singing praises in the trees, the gorgeous colours that surround us, the blue of the sky, the verdant green of the grass. And now in the fall, or the autumn as we call it here, the changing colours of the leaves. And Mother Earth provides that for ourselves and for the animals and the plants, and not forgetting the elementals and the nature spirits. So we're showing our gratitude to all that she provides for us. And we're giving thanks for her beauty, which is a reflection of ours. And giving thanks to your divine team now. Giving thanks to the divine feminine. Giving thanks to the ray of unconditional love. Giving thanks to all the beings that came forward to assist us in this healing ceremony today. Gratefully receiving the love and the light. And so it is. And when you're ready, just coming back to the present, just focusing on your feet again and grounding. And when you're ready, just moving your body slowly and coming back to the present.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Nora. That was so powerful. So many, I have no words. It was just such a full process and so much healing. I actually felt, I don't want to use the word discomfort, but discomfort in my stomach area, womb area, right? Which I know was just part of the healing process.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just receiving those healing energies and throughout my body. Pragati says, thank you, Nora. That was incredible. Stacy says, that was so beautiful and loving. Thank you. Sandra, so much yawning and tears coming from my eyes. Lansing says, so beautiful and so poetic. Pragati says, I was yawning and crying. Cindy says, that was truly beautiful. Tina, beautiful and much needed process for all of us. Susan says, thank you. So deep and full of love. Yeah, Pragati's still yawning and crying. So it was a lot, it was a deep healing, right? April said that was so beautiful. I kept moving in and out of consciousness and didn't want to come back. True. Anushka said, thank you so much love and light and kindness. Beautiful thing. Karen says, thank you. Have a terrific rest of your Thursday. And I think because this was such a deep healing, definitely drink some water, walk
Yeah.
around. If you can
Yeah.
ground, go outside, for a minute or two. as well. That will be helpful. Yeah, Lori says powerful and relaxing.
Good.
Yeah, so that was awesome. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. You are welcome.
So any last words of wisdom for us? I mean, this was so deep on so many levels, and for ourselves, for the planet, for our fellow sisters who have experienced so much trauma as well, right? This is going out to
Yeah.
so many people, right? And I think it was like not just from this lifetime, but also experiences from other lifetimes as well, is what I was getting.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so powerful. So yeah, any last words of wisdom for us? I was supposed to let you speak.
Right. Last words of wisdom. I just feel so full of gratitude for my life at the moment. I really do. And it's only when we reflect on the pain and suffering of others that we become truly grateful for who we are and what we are. So just my love goes out to you all. And just to say, if anyone is guided to sign up for the packages, then whether for yourself or for as a proxy for others or to do service work, then I look forward to seeing you. And just thank you very much for joining me tonight.
Beautiful. Thank you, Norah. And of course, oh my goodness, I will have the recordings out in a little while so you can go back and watch and listen again. I wouldn't do the process again today. I would give yourself a little bit of space and, nurturing, and just be gentle with yourself as well. But, you can always listen to the process again tomorrow. But there was so much wisdom that you may want to go back and listen to and watch again, right? And of course, if you'd like to work with Norah, please do check out the special offer packages as well. Right. So what a powerful show today, Norah. Thank you.
You're
This whole
welcome.
week, Tuesday we had Lansing, I think.
Yes.
My memory is like Tuesday we had Lansing. Yesterday we had the DNA activation, and today Norah's call and process was so powerful. So what a powerful week. So much support is available for you. And again, like Norah was saying, be grateful for the little things. Be grateful for your life. Be grateful for the blessings, because there's so many blessings in your life. So this is not about comparing your life to somebody else's, but just recognize how blessed you are, right? And that support is always available. God, source, creator is always with you. You're never separate. You cannot be. And so receive that. Continue to receive that love and support and guidance, and follow the breadcrumbs. So as you begin to receive insights, messages, just a thought popping in out of nowhere, it's like, oh, what's that? It might be a message from your guides. And so take action on it, feel into it, and keep moving forward. Okay. So thank you so much, everyone. We'll be back next week for 3 shows, I think, next week. So thank you. Have a great weekend. It is Thanksgiving weekend here in Canada. I know there's a few Canadians on, or will be watching anyways, for sure. So happy Thanksgiving, for all of us in Canada. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Until next time, may you continue to be blessed with an abundance of joy, peace, love, happiness, prosperity, and radiant health. Right, sending you all so much love and blessings. Bye for now.
Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye,
Norah. This was
everyone.
wonderful. You did a great job.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Bye for now.
Bye.